You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll. You're tuned in to the You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Period of pride. This is Apex One Radio. Thank you so much. Welcome to the last edition of Midwest Ball Rolling on Apex One Radio. And so in just 5 days, Columbus will roll with the 2025 edition of the Midwest Ball Rolling. And so what happens at the end of the tournament? Who will carry the day? Those are some of the questions which we will answer when the tournament comes to Columbus. But then for the past couple of weeks, we have been sizing the chances of the 12 teams that will take place or that will take part in this year's tournament, just to know exactly who is coming to Columbus with what energy and with what determination, what motivation, and what have you. And so we've journeyed across the states. We've been to Iowa, we've been to Ohio, we've been to Illinois, we've been to Wisconsin. Of course, we've been to cities like Cincinnati, we've been to Dayton. We've been to the cities across the states that will be taking part in this year's edition of the Midwest Ball Rolling, just to find out how prepared they are. And today, we are moving to Michigan to meet the Michigan Veterans Football Club and find out just how prepared they are 5 days to the start of their tournament. And so, Michigan is our focus today. And They are here to tell their own part of their story. So sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy every bit of what we'll be presenting to you this beautiful Sunday evening from Columbus, Ohio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to us at this point. My name is Ernest. Kanjo Marcel. Adil is producing this show from Varsovia in Germany with the collaboration of Evaris, Capo. And so, like I said, in today's edition of the show, which of course is the last one, we are going to be receiving the guys from Michigan. So how prepared are they? Just sit back, relax, and listen to them. Well, let's say welcome to our guest, the president of Michigan Veterans FC, Cromwell Zamana, joins us from Michigan. Mr. President, good afternoon. How are you today? You may want to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Okay, good afternoon. I think
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Kanjo. How are you today?
I am good. And you?
Pretty good, thank you. So
great. So how is Michigan this?
This weather is it has a mind of its own. It's really been fluctuating from 70 to 40 something. So it's crazy, but we take it as it comes.
We take it as it comes. Are you speaking from Detroit?
I'm speaking from Detroit, correct.
Perfect.
And what about you?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, Columbus, okay.
Looking forward to seeing you come later this week, of course.
We are indeed looking forward to coming there. Fortunately for us, it will be the Midwest and the NVT, which is a very close proximity to the drive is not going to be that bad. So right. We are happy to come to Columbus.
Perfect. We look forward to seeing you in Columbus. His name is Humphrey Mokum. Humphrey Mokum is the team manager for the Michigan's veterans. He now joins us as he accompanies the president to this show. Mr. Humphrey, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Kanjo. And we're happy to be here. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about Michigan's Veteran Football Club.
Their pleasure is equally ours. How is your end of the country today? Are you speaking in Detroit as well?
Yeah, I'm speaking from Metro Detroit. Actually, in close proximity with the president. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, I'm speaking from my car. I'm actually outside today. Today is my daughter's 8th birthday, so we're at the park celebrating with her. Mm-hmm. And then I also enjoy this opportunity to be here with you to talk about the Michigan Veterans Football Club.
A golden opportunity, of course. So we know exactly how prepared your team is for the tournament and a little bit more about Michigan Veterans FC. Once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the program. And in the next couple of minutes, we will start listening to you and getting the story of Michigan ahead of the Midwest Veterans tournament. And so that is how we will roll today. And we are going to shine the spotlight on one of the most electrifying teams as the battle is nearing. And so Michigan Football Club is our focus in today's edition of their show. They have been around the block, they've built a legacy, and they are getting up for the biggest showdown of the year as far as the region is concerned, which is the Midwest Veterans Tournament. So this team is respected, relentless, and often feared on the pitch. And veterans are not just coming to Columbus to play, but they are also coming to revive and to ride on with that spirit of camaraderie, which the veteran movement is known to have. So, who are these warriors behind the name? Who are the anchors of the site? And what are they coming to Columbus for? With what energy? With what determination? With what motivation are they coming to Columbus with? All of this will be discussed in today's edition of the show with Michigan Veterans FC. So once again, let's join the president, who is accompanied by the team manager for the veterans. So, Mr. Zama, tell me, how old is Michigan?
Okay, thank you for that question. Michigan veteran is fairly still very young. Let me just give you a small history of how it started. It started in 2018.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of guys. With the guy who really led that effort was Mr. Tangibai Abo. He's the one who really helped to bring Michigan veteran to where it is.
Okay.
And it started, and of course, you know how as a football lover, you know, we have been playing football here in the Detroit area for many years, but it wasn't as organized as Mr. Tangi them they envisioned it. And since from then, it's been gradually growing. You know, this would be our third year actually going into the NVT. You know,
Okay.
our first year we went there in 2022, and from all what we have seen, it's everything. The track it's been going up. We've really been improving, because one of the things that we learned was, if you have a good structure, a good structure from the beginning, you succeed. So that's what we've really been living up to. Quite sure if you have anything to add, Mr. Humphrey.
Yeah, just to support what the president has said. So yeah, there's a famous park in Michigan called Catalpa. I mean, it's important to talk about when we talk about Michigan Veterans Football Club. We also have to mention this park because that is where it all started.
Okay.
So that park has been famous for Cameroonians playing soccer like every day in the evening with other African countries, but with other guys from other African countries, guys from the Caribbean as well. But it was just mostly about a pickup game, you know, guys getting together, having fun. And then there is this famous Afro-Caribbean event in Michigan, the July 1st. You know, there's always like a Cameroonian team, a Nigerian team, teams from other African countries competing together, no age restriction. So that's a little bit about the history of soccer in Michigan when it pertains to us immigrants from the African continent and the Caribbean. But so there had always been like a Cameroonian team which was playing and you know, preparing for this July 4th event. But they had never really been like a veterans team, veterans in the sense of an over 35 team.
Okay.
So as the president mentioned, in 2018, this idea came about under the leadership then of Mr. Tanyi Agbobayi, who put the guys together to form a veterans over 35 team. So that's where it all started. It didn't really take off from the ground at that time because in 2020, there was the COVID pandemic, which interrupted it.
Right.
And then we reconvened again after the COVID pandemic. And from there, the trajectory has been all up. You know, so that's a little bit about the history of Michigan Veteran and where we are coming from.
I'll stay with you, Mr. Mokum, to find out if the club is registered as a non-profit like other veteran clubs I've spoken with.
Actually, we've had this conversation internally at the level of the executive, but we have in the past decided not to do that. But it's still in consideration. We might do it in the future. I'll leave that up to the president to talk a little bit about that. The reason why it's not yet registered is because the National Veteran Tournament in the US per se is a 501c as well. That's a registered nonprofit. So we, at that time, initially, when we talked about this, we were covered mostly as an umbrella branch of the National Veteran Football Club. So we didn't really see the need to do it, but times are changing, and yeah, we might do it. So, but I'll pass that over to the president to talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
So with that, yes, we really had an extensive discussion regarding the 501c3. Yes, as we grow, maybe we'll definitely consider doing it as a single organization rather than being the umbrella from the NVT. But for now, we'll just stick with the NVT. Probably in the next, so not too distant future, we'll apply for it. So.
But apart from playing soccer, do you engage in other community activities?
So we have not really actively been engaged, but the July for that, I guess my friend here mentioned is one thing that we have been taking part in it, and we do like church events, which the Michigan Veteran has not really done it, but a few of us have been really involved in some of these activities. But we definitely plan to do some community activities.
In every single Cameroonian community in this country, the veterans seem to be, a very recognized movement, recognized group. Is that the case in Michigan?
I would say yes. Yes, so it's Michigan Veteran is well recognized in the community. We have supported our members in times of sorrow, death, even marriages here. So we have really been part of this community here, and I can say majority of the people who are here know about Michigan Veteran.
And what is the membership strength of your club?
So we currently have 50 active members. Michigan Veteran is fairly, it's not as big as other organizations, but we are gradually building it. And we have current 50 active members. And last year it was about the same, I believe so. It was about 50. So I'm comfortable to say we have 50 active members, but obviously, you know how difficult it is to run, especially these type of organizations. The commitment is what we're trying to sell out to people, so that they know that this thing is not only the work of a few, but this thing is bigger than any one of us. So it's kind of like a tough sell, but we are gradually getting there.
It's definitely a thing for everybody in the community as the veteran movement in general continues to grow. This is Apex One Radio you're listening to. The last edition of Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you live from Apex One Radio this beautiful Sunday evening, Sunday the 18th of May 2025. And on this show today, we are receiving Michigan Veterans Football Club that is preparing to join 11 other teams to take part in the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament that begins in Columbus this week. We'll be right back with you.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Let the ball continue to roll, and we are doing the last in the series today with Michigan Veterans FC as they prepare to hit the road for Columbus. So let's talk the game itself. First question: how many teams do you have within the club? With 50 members, I know you can carve out maybe 2 or 3 teams. How many teams do you have?
Well, when you say team, we have one team in our Michigan Veteran. However, we do like when we do our practice, we have enough players that we play 11v11. But as organized, we do play other like friendlies around town here. So, Mr. Humphrey, I don't know if you have anything to say regarding that.
So as the president mentioned, we have the Michigan veteran team and we have the practice squad teams, right? So the team, the Michigan veteran soccer team itself, for competition, that's different from what we see every day in practice. So as the president mentioned, on every practice, we practice every Saturday. So on the practice field, we can comfortably carve out 2 teams to go 11v11 with some reserves. In the past, what we had is a structure where we had a red and a blue team. So those had assigned captains, and those were practice squad teams. So it's not like we established 2 teams that go in for a competition. No, those were practice squad teams. Just to say, hey, you belong to team red, you belong to team blue. And when we get to practice on Saturday and we're playing 11v11, then it's always red against blue. This time around, we don't have that. What we do on Saturday is we get to field, we do our regular exercises, our stretches, and then when we get into to play the game of soccer, then the coaches they split the group into 2 teams, and then we're able to play 11v11.
So what is the criteria for the selection of those who will take part in a competition?
So that will
go ahead.
So that will depend on so many different factors. So the first factor itself is the nature of the competition, right? So when you're preparing for the Midwest tournament, that's a 12-team competition. The criteria for selection of players is different from the National Veteran Tournament, which is a 12-team, which is a 40-team competition. So in the Midwest tournament, for instance, how the game is being played, it's 2 games per day, and you play a maximum of 6 games if you play until the finals. So this criteria informs myself, the team manager, together in consultation with the coaches. What are the characteristics of the players that we are going to need for that competition, and how many players we are going to need for that competition. So when we have these conversations in a series of meetings, and then we have a list in mind of who we can take to the tournament. So when we do that, and then we now investigate the availability of said players, because Michigan Veterans Football Club, everybody there is a recreational soccer player, right? We don't have professionals. So these guys have their day-to-day life, their families, and all their engagements. So we make sure that we go to them early enough to inform them about the tournament and check on their availability. And then that's how we plan and allocate who is going to be playing in that tournament. So those are the criteria that inform the decision of who qualifies to play in a team. It's just based on the tournament as the nature of the tournament, as I've explained.
Okay. Also, I think one thing that we did not mention from the start is initially when this was when Michigan Veteran was created, it was a Cameroonian thing. Okay, we were all Cameroonians, but now we realized that we are kind of limited. So we wanted to expand the pool. So basically, Michigan Veteran, you can be come from any place in the world, insofar as you are 35 and above. You'll be part of us, and we have players that are not Cameroonians. So and that expands our pool as to where we can pick the players to play. So,
Right. So do you have players who have played professional football in the past? I know other veterans teams do have.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, you're listening to Apex One Radio, and the show is Midwest Ball Rolling. The edition is the 9th. The day is Sunday. The date is the 18th. The month is March. The year is 2025. And of course, the tournament that is coming up is the Midwest Veterans Tournament. So tell me, Mokum, how often do you train when there is no major competition coming up?
Okay, so in the spring and summer months, practice is usually every Saturday. Okay. So once a week, every Saturday, we try to get out and do some practice sessions. But we also have sometimes friendly games, which we treat as practice, right? So like in the winter months, we might organize a friendly game with another team, local team, and then we practice. So, but usually it's mostly Saturdays once per week, and then depending on the depending on what the coaches want, sometimes we might have midweek practice. So in the past years, we've had practice on Saturdays and on Wednesdays, but our regular schedule is from spring to summer, every Saturday.
Talking about coaching, I know this question would have been directed to the coach and not you, but you probably have an idea. So, how do you structure your coaching? Do you have like a coach for the keepers, a physical trainer or keep fit trainer or something like that, as we would find with much more professional settings?
So we do not have an assigned goalkeeper trainer. We do have two excellent coaches, Mr. Sylvester Zama, who happens to be the brother of the president. He has been with us since 2018, our pioneer coach, and getting up there in age as well, but still very knowledgeable about the game of soccer. I mean, I call him sometimes professor, because he likes to teach a lot. And then we have a coach who has been with us since 2023, when we went to Atlanta for the NVT. Also very knowledgeable. His name is Muduja. So those two guys coordinate the training, right? So from the physical aspect of the practice on Saturdays to the technical aspect of the practice on Saturdays. So they do kind of like a tag team job of coordinating the activities. But again, like I mentioned, we are a recreational soccer club, not a professional soccer club. And when you do all these things, especially on a volunteer basis, you don't really pay guys to do these things. Then you get limited in what you can actually do, in terms of staffing, right? So, but again, I really appreciate these two great minds who have been leading the charge with us in terms of coaching. They are doing a fantastic job. And sometimes also when we get to the field, select players lead also the physical preparation for the training. So it's what we do have here is two coaches leading the charge, and then players also supporting during practice.
That's interesting, and it's good to know. So, talking about keeping fit, when I look at your slogan, you profess staying healthy. So, how do you do that? Like, if you are not training, but you need to ensure that your players are physically, fit. Do they have to go out regularly, maybe for jogging or things like that?
Well, well, with we try as much as possible to encourage our members to be always active, especially in the winter months. Some times during the winter time we do have indoors. So it's this year we didn't have it, but we've had it in the past, and that is what we try to do to make sure that people are staying fit. I would encourage them. There are so many members who are they have membership in gyms, and also, as Mr. Humphrey said, Sylvester is my brother. He's a registered nurse, so he always would give this talk about healthiness and about us taking care of our bodies, blood pressure, just monitoring our health. So yeah. So
all right, let us come back to the kind of competitions which you get involved in within your area. So apart from non-veteran competitions, what other local competitions do you take part in?
So in the past, we did Mr. Humphrey did mention the July 4th, which is a tournament that has several African countries. We do take part in that, and then also we've gone to London, Ontario.
Okay,
about 2 hours from here. That's in Canada. We played there, and there's a veteran team that's there. They came to Michigan. They played with us. We had a nice barbecue, and then we did the same thing. Went over to their place, and it was good. So there are other opportunities which I think we would use this summer coming up. But yes, we do take part. Is there anyone that I'm forgetting?
Yeah, we actually in Ohio, I think in the past years we have received invitation from Cleveland, from Columbus. So we play those tournaments as well. And then here locally, we didn't do it last year, but in the past we've organized our own kind of like a mini tournament where we had teams from Ohio. We had Cleveland. We had North Side boys from Columbus. I don't know if I got So we do, and then we had a couple of other local teams with us. That was 2 years ago. So yes, we do have a couple of local tournaments that we participate in. Yeah.
That's interesting to know. Let us talk about Michigan's performance. Somebody whispered to me some time ago that Michigan does really, really well, in this competition. So, tell us about some of the games which you've played that are remarkable. Some of the games you would really want to remember. Some of the games that have lifted, your morale and make you think that Michigan is, a team to reckon with.
Okay, so our first year that we attended the NVT was in Maryland, 2022.
Okay.
And we went there. We were very naive. We didn't know how intense the competition was.
Okay.
Because I'm not supposed to be playing in that tournament. I'm not supposed to be playing, knowing really well how fit some of these guys are. We went there. We experienced it. It was not pretty, but we learned. What we really learned from there was we have to plan. We have to get players. Then we went to Atlanta. Now you asked a question about a game. I'll tell you that game, which is, I believe, Mr. Humphrey, is the San Antonio game, which San Antonio, I think they were like the favorites to win the tournament. We ended up tying, I think it was a 1-1 draw. You see. So, but you're looking at a team that came from, you're losing with so many goals and then going to tie with like the favorite that was supposed to win, was a great improvement. Maybe Mr. Humphrey will tell us about another game, but last year, if you really look at us, last year we went to Minnesota. For the group stages, Michigan was number 1 overall.
Okay.
Number 1. We won all of our three matches, And it was just the recruitment and the planning from learning what we're supposed to do in that 2022 all the way, and it's been a gradual improvement. So we have a great team that is behind all of these successes. A great team that we meet every Wednesday. After, I think, when did we start? It was in February.
February, yeah.
Every Wednesday for planning for the Midwest tournament and the NVT. So it is something that we really take seriously. And they say 50% of your success is planning. You know, and if you plan well, the success will come. So that's what we have been doing. So, Mr. Mukoma, I guess you have one of those other teams that
So you touched about you already touched on our history in the National Veteran Tournament, but I want to take us to the Midwest Tournament, right? So, but before we go to the Midwest, I would answer the second part of the question. I think you mentioned which game would you want to have back, right?
Sure.
So the game I would want to have back is the quarterfinals game against Houston in the National Veteran Tournament last year in Minnesota. So that before we played that game, we had played a very, very physically demanding game at the round of 16s. As the president said, we were number 1 overall in the group stage, and we had a very short turnaround, and we had to play Arlington, Texas in the round of 16. So it was a very physical game, physically demanding. We ended up winning that game 1-0. Also, very short turnaround time. We had to play Houston. It was on turf. We were not really prepared. I would say we were not expecting to play on turf that early. We knew there were turf fields in Minnesota, but I don't think we had conditioned ourselves to play on turf, because when you play on turf, it's really by turf I mean artificial grass. It's really it's a different game. So. But we started the game really well. We were up 2-0. And then we kept on pushing. And that's the regret I have in that game. So in injury time in the first half, Houston equalized. Because we had pushed so much in the first half, the physical exertion of the round of 16 game and the first half of that game caught up to us in the second half. So we had players who were cramping, and Houston ended up equalizing, and we lost that game on penalties 5-4. So that is the most painful game I've ever been involved with. We were from up 2-0 to losing the game on penalty kicks. And I've replayed that game several times in my head. What should I have done? Or not me. What should we have done better as a team? What should the coaching staff have done better? I've had this conversation several times with the coaching staff, and it boils down to one simple thing: game management. You know, so I don't look at it as I regret that we lost that game, but it was a lesson, right? It's a learning experience for us. So if we find ourselves in that situation next time, speaking with the coaching staff, I think there are a lot of things that we would do different, right? So that is the game. When I think about that, I really regret, you know, and I wish to have that one back, because we had a team. When I watched the game, the Houston game in the semifinals, I thought to myself, if we had just gotten past the quarterfinals, Michigan would have made history in that tournament. But again, another year, another opportunity. We will see how it goes.
Another year, another opportunity. We will see how it goes. But are there any teams within Midwest which you really think are a stumbling block to Michigan?
I would start by, I would start by saying, you don't want to go into a competition underestimating anybody, right? Yeah. When I look at what Midwest was, and remember, just 2 years ago, the 2 finalists of the National Veteran Tournament were teams from the Midwest. That was Vetstar against Columbus. So
yeah.
I'm really proud of the level of growth in the Midwest soccer as a whole. Now, back to the Midwest tournament. Last year was our first time participating in the tournament, and we ended up playing, winning all our games, and then made it to the finals and lost against Vetstar on penalties per se. So I would start by saying teams that I think, of course, the big boys, Vetstar, they're the defending champions, of course. Columbus, the host, that's a very good team. You have to respect them. Cincinnati, we played them in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, in the last tournament. Very good team as well. New Boys of Minnesota, another very good team. Chicago, also a very good team. And I've been hearing a lot about the newcomers, Bamok FC, also very interesting team. So what I'm saying is there are just so many teams, so many good teams in the Midwest where you can't really go into the tournament saying this team or this team is a stumbling block or it's the favorite. You know, I like it the way it is. Midwest is a flat, I would call it a flat surface. You know, you have to respect, of course, the big boys, but I would see Midwest as a flat surface where I just have the feeling that there would be some surprises this year, you know, with the level of preparation. Cleveland, I didn't mention Cleveland. Cleveland is also another interesting team. They won a game at the NVT. So, yes, I would say Midwest per se, a lot of interesting teams. Yeah.
A lot of interesting teams in Midwest, teams which you have the golden opportunity of witnessing as they play to vie for the lone trophy, which will pick up on the evening of May the 25th when the tournament rounds off. We are not there yet. Preparations are on the way, and the tournament promises to be very, very interesting, especially given the fact that Columbus will move ahead to host the NVT come August this year. 18 minutes to 5 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. We are receiving Michigan football, Michigan veterans football in this last edition of Midwest Ball Rolling. Don't go away yet.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.
Pride, passion, and purpose, those indicators describe the veterans movement. And of course, it is with pride, passion, and purpose that 12 teams will converge on Columbus to vie for the 2025 trophy of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. I'll stay with you, Mr. Mokum, to find out, as a team manager, how you prepare your team for any given competition. What happens backstage for, you know, when a competition as major as this one, you know, is coming up?
Okay. Thank you for that question. That is the essence of this position of team manager. So the president already mentioned one key thing. 50% of winning a tournament is what happens in the preparation phase, right? That's the planning. So that's what happens behind the scene. So when we have a tournament like this, our calendar is already fixed. We have two key dates, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. So we start planning early around these dates. Memorial Day weekend, that's for the Midwest tournament. Labor Day weekend, that's for the NVT. So how we go about doing this preparation for the tournament, we've set up in Michigan Veterans Football Club what we call the organizing committee. Okay. So that committee, before I became team manager, I was the head of that committee, and right now I'm still the head of that committee, of course, under the supervision of the president. We meet every Wednesday, like the president mentioned, and then we look at where we are at in terms of the preparations for the set tournament. So right now our focus is solely on the Midwest tournament, but we have already done some pre-work for the National Veterans Tournament as well. So that committee looks into the logistics of the tournament per se, accommodation, transportation, feeding during the tournament. Those are the type of questions that we try to answer in that committee. For instance, the Midwest tournament, for this Midwest tournament, by the end of January, early February, we had already identified our hotel in Columbus, made our reservations, and got that out of the way. And then we start, if it's a tournament that we have to, fly, then we would do our group flights early enough. And and also do think about feeding during the tournament, whether we are doing catering service or we are doing restaurants. Those are the type of things that we discuss within the planning committee leading up to the tournament. Another aspect is what I mentioned. We have the team management group that focuses on the team aspect, the technical aspect, right? What players are we going to take to the tournament? How many players do we need? What are the availability of these players? So those are the type of questions that we answer in these two committees to prepare for the tournament. And of course, with the coaches, what kind of practice sessions do we need? How many practice sessions do we need? Do we need friendly games? All those type of things are discussed within the team management and the organizing committees. Yeah.
Now, a lot happens, Mr. President. How do you manage oversight? How do you ensure that, generally speaking, everything goes on smoothly? I know it should be a Herculean task for you.
It's to me, it's a very big task. However, when you have a group of people who are dedicated to soccer and who are making sure that they want to see a very good result at the end. So we have a very good team that we put together, and it's not been it's been good in the sense that the people who are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're doing it. So I don't even really have to do a whole lot of like minute by minute supervision. Everyone who is there know exactly what they're supposed to do. Like Mr. Humphreys, he's a team manager. He has done a lot, literally a lot, in making sure that we stay focused. He has built a blueprint as to how we can succeed. So we have a good team, and I'm very proud that we started early on in the planning. And I'm sure that the planning is the result is really going to show once everything is done next Sunday. So I'll just leave it at that.
That good team is what Columbus is expecting to see and witness when the guys from Michigan touch down later this week for the competition. A much-awaited competition, of course, which promises to be quite interesting, and we're looking forward to that. This is Midwest Ball Rolling, reaching you live from Apex One Radio. Don't go away yet.
This is Sabatin all the way from North Carolina. And this is Patton Veteran Soccer Club all the way from Maryland.
All right, this is Midwest Ball Rolling, reaching you live from Apex One Radio. We are receiving Michigan Veterans Soccer Club in today's edition of their show. Right, so let us narrow it down to the upcoming competition and size, your chances, and of course your preparedness. So when we look at the placings, when we look at the placings, let's see what group Michigan is placed in. That should be, let's see, that should be Michigan, Cleveland, Cindy, and Windy City. Right. So Michigan, Cleveland, Cindy, and Windy City. Now, tell me, are you comfortable with these placings?
Mr. Team manager, go ahead.
The team manager can go.
Yes.
Are you comfortable with these teams? Cleveland, Cindy, Windy.
In the competition,
there?
right?
Oh, sorry. Okay. I
So
think we have him now.
Yeah, you are never comfortable. You never go into any competition feeling comfortable, right? Because that's how you lose games. You want to be uncomfortable. That's how you win games. So when I look at that group, I just mentioned teams that are really good in the tournament, and you had Cleveland, Cindy in my list, right? No disrespect to Windy City. They are also newcomers into the tournament, so we don't have any intel on that team, but I expect them to be good, right? Just based on the on a little bit what I know about the team and who is behind that team. So in terms of the management level, I expect that team to be good. So Group C would be a very, very good group. It will have a lot of very intriguing games, very interesting games. The most difficult game in a competition is always the first game you play. And why do I say that? The Midwest tournament is the first tournament in the year out of the gate, right? Where high intensity football is played. We are just coming out of summer. Most of the teams are rusty. They have not been playing competitive football. We are just coming out of the winter, sorry. Most of the teams are rusty, have not been playing competitive football. Not at the level of intensity that you would meet at the Midwest tournament. So yeah, you get to play in these games right out of the gate. So you have to be very focused, and you have to bring your A game, right? So, but then you also have to manage your players really well, because those guys have not been playing high intensity football. So yeah, I look forward to this group. Actually, I'm excited about it. We have done some preparation work. Is it the best we could have? No, but is it good enough? I like what we have right now. I like where we are at as a team, and I expect Michigan to do well in the tournament. Yeah.
So as a recap, Michigan is placed in Group C alongside Cindy veterans, Cleveland area veterans, and of course Windy City veterans. On day one, that is May the 23rd at 4 p.m., Michigan will lock horns with Cleveland. Do you want us to find out what the scores will be? What is your forecast?
Wait and see.
Wait and see. Okay. Then,
I like that.
Your second match will either be between Michigan and Cindy or Michigan and Windy. Do you still want to wait and see for those two matches?
Yep.
Wait and
yeah,
see.
I think we would. I don't want to jinx it, right? So I expect a good game. In every game in the group stage would be interesting, would be tight. Yeah, so we will see.
Should you emerge from the group stage, what team would you like to meet? In Group A, we have Columbus, we have New Boys, Kansas Cities, and Mock Youth FC. Group B, we have Vet Stars veterans, we have Chicago veterans, Iowa, and Wisconsin. So, which team may you want to meet if you finally emerge from your group?
If I can take this one, the way we have prepared and the way we have planned, I don't care which team comes, we will be very, very prepared to take that.
Whatever team comes their way, they are prepared to take on that team.
Yes.
And why not carry the day. Well, we're looking forward to that. And so, as a recap, your first match will be against Cleveland at exactly 4 p.m. Columbus time, and that match will be simultaneously played with the Cindy versus Windy City encounter. Well, we're looking forward to that, and that will be day one of the tournament. Day two, of course, will be the knockout. We're looking forward to that as well. So, tell me, 5 days to the start of the tournament. How ready are you guys?
Go ahead.
Yes, team manager.
You want me to go ahead? Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say the team is in good spirit.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing. The team is in good spirit. The team is united, and excited at the same time about the opportunity to play again in this tournament. I am also somehow involved in the organization of the Midwest this year, and I am really, really, really very happy with the level of preparation that Columbus is doing behind the scene, which will make this a great tournament. So that is what brings about the excitement in the team. And yeah, I'm very, very hopeful about our chances. I like where we're at. We could be better, but when the dust settles, as the president mentioned, I expect Michigan to do well in the tournament. Yeah.
All right, that's the expectation. A quick recap of your performance in Chicago last year. How was it?
It was great. It was
Very
great.
good.
It was our first experience in the tournament. We went to Chicago undermanned. So we had effectively 13 players in Chicago. 13 players. If I count myself as a player, which I don't see myself as that. And we went to Chicago. We won all of our group games. Won the quarterfinals by a very wide margin. Won the semifinal on penalties. And that Columbus gave me Chicago gave me a different perspective about Michigan Veteran Football Club.
Okay.
What I saw in Chicago is not a group of soccer players. What I saw in Chicago is a group of warriors.
Okay.
Battling against all odds. On the man, but still determined, still fighting, still scrapping, making it all the way to the finals. And the 2 goals against 2 goals each, and then we ended up losing on penalties. So Chicago experience is what really got me believing a lot in this Michigan Veteran Football Club. This team is a special team, and I'm really proud of the guys. I'm really proud of what we accomplished in Chicago, which was the build up to what really happened in the NVT. And I like where we are at this year with respect to preparations for this tournament compared to where we are at with what we were when we went to Chicago. But again, I expect the competition this year in Columbus to be much more elevated than what was in Chicago. So we can't rest on our heels. We have to keep fighting. Yeah.
So you came very close to lifting the trophy last year. You were finalist. Is that one of the motivations you are coming to Columbus with?
I think you are very right. We are coming with even more motivation. Each year has its own thing, but last year in Chicago, we decided to go to Columbus to make a statement.
Okay.
Because we came close. We didn't win, but the ultimate goal is to win. And just like I said, so wait and see. We'll see something in 5 days.
Do you dread meeting Chicago again in the final? Is that something?
I think it was Minnesota, right?
It was Vetstar, Minnesota.
Vetstar.
Okay.
Oh, and just like I said previously, we are really prepared and very excited, and we are prepared to meet the best, and that's where we're going to meet the best. So we are prepared to handle it. So I hope you also come there, Mr. You'll be there to watch our games in Kanjo.
Sure. Right. So as we run off, we are just 5 days to this competition, and my guess is that you may not engage in any friendly match again for fear of maybe injuries that could impede your performance in Columbus. Am I right? If not, do you plan to have maybe just one friendly before you hit the road for Columbus?
No, we don't plan any. We don't plan any friendlies. This 5 days into the tournament is just about getting the mindset right, right? So the physical aspect is done. You're not thinking. If you're thinking about the physical aspect of the game right now, then you have already lost the tournament, right? So you've lost your games in the tournament. So right now it's just about the mindset, right? What is the mindset? And that's what we are going to find out in Columbus, right? Is Michigan Veteran, is the mindset that Michigan Veteran is just a team that happened to make it to the finals last year in Chicago? Or is Michigan Veteran Soccer Club really a Midwest finalist team? You know, so that is the question we have to ask ourselves. And that's the question we have to answer in these 5 days. Each one of us individually has to think deep, think internally. What are you? What is Michigan Veteran? Is it just a team that happened to be there in the finals, or is it a finalist? So those are the questions we have to answer in the next 5 days.
And are you using this competition to prepare for the bigger one in August?
Amen. Yep.
So what I would say is every competition has its own characteristics, right?
Okay.
But every game, to me, is a data point, right? It's a data point. What am I in that game? What can I improve? What do I have to add? What do I have to do better, right? That's how I look at it. So every game we play as a team, as Michigan Veterans, is a new data point. So I'm looking at this competition, yes, on one hand, as a prelude to the national tournament, but also as a data gathering exercise, right? To measure where we're at as a team and what we need to add and what we need to improve on going forward. Yeah.
Right. So, Mr. Zama, tell us about the supporting mechanism put in place. Are you coming to Columbus with fans, the women, the children, to cheer you up to victory?
So for the women, yes, some of our women are going to be coming there with some of our wives and the rest of that. So yes, we have a few people who will be coming, but I'm not quite sure. I cannot gauge how many are going to come, but we'll have some supporters there. And just to give you the support behind all of what is called Michigan Veteran, I would like to actually read the executives, their names, and these are the people who basically handle everything. And without them, there will be no Michigan Veteran at all. So of course, I'm the president, Cromwell Zama. Then our vice president is Mr. Perkins Fofun. Our treasurer is Mr. Shea Clement Kibu. Our financial secretary is Derek Salang. Our publicity guy is Basil Gayos. Secretary General Leot Teneskole Kateri. Then our team managers, we have 2 team managers. Humphrey is the lead, and then Abraham is his assistant. Then our coaches, Sylvester Zama and Mudu Ja. And then the last 2 is our chief whip, Edwin and Tanya Peter. So this is the backbone of Michigan Veteran, and there are other people who are in the planning committee that I really, really appreciate the support. Everybody is working hand in hand to make this a success. So as I said before, this planning has been going on for many months, and we know what to do when Friday comes next week.
They definitely know what to do when Friday comes, and that team will be in Columbus for the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. We are running off with our series profiling the teams today with Michigan Veterans Football Club that will be in Columbus later this week. And as a reminder, they are placed in Group C of the competition alongside Cleveland area veterans, Cindy veterans, and of course, Windy City veterans. And on day one of the competition, Michigan will take on Cleveland at exactly 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that match will be going on while the Cindy versus Windy City match will be going on as well. Right, so we're about to run off this edition of the show. Mr. President, I will just want to get your last word. Is there any special appeal you want to make to friends of Michigan or potential friends of the club or the general public?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kanjo. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to just come and chat with you, to talk more about Michigan Veteran. My plea is for membership. Anyone who listens to this and is interested in joining us, you don't really necessarily have to be a player to be part of Michigan Veteran. You can come as a supporter, as a sponsor, and then just be part of a family. And then when you go to some of these games, you understand what I'm really talking about, because it is beauty when you go to like Midwest, like in Columbus, and then you go to Columbus again in September for the NVT. So it's a family-oriented thing, and I appeal to people to take this very seriously, because things are happening, and we Michigan Veteran, we will do something this year that people will not expect. So, but I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity that you've given us. We are growing gradually, and we really plan to grow more in the future. So thanks a lot.
They plan to grow more. Let's hear from Mr. Mokum, the team manager of Michigan Veterans FC. What are you promising the city of Columbus as you get set to come here?
Yeah, so thank you once again, Mr. Kanjo, for this opportunity. Yeah, we really appreciate it. What I'm promising the city of Columbus is beautiful football, fair play, a lot of entertainment come Saturday. I know, like I said, the competition is going to be intense. It's going to be fierce. There's going to be a lot of battles. It's going to pump high in every situation. But again, Michigan Veterans Football Club would be there to entertain the Columbus public, would be there to win over a lot of new fans. And yeah, just to add to what the president said, as they appeal to the general public, please continue to believe in the project, which is Michigan Veteran Football Club. Thank you.
Continue to believe in the project, which is Michigan Veterans Football Club. It's a whole big movement that is joining other veterans movements across the country, and they will be in Columbus later this week. A golden opportunity for you to come witness not only recreational football, but some level of camaraderie, which is not very common in today's society, but the veterans are always there to supply such solidarity. And so that's how we're putting a full stop. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for offering your time to be part of this program. And we're looking forward to receiving you here in Columbus later this week. And of course, good luck to your side. Thank you so much. Do have a fantastic rest of the weekend.
Very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kanjo.
And
have a blessed
for
day.
those of you out there who took time to listen to this program or watch it on our respective social media handles, we just want to say thank you so much. Special collaboration came from Evaris, Capo. Thank you so much for all you've done for this great series which we've had on radio for the past couple of weeks. Then special thank you to all the members of the Columbus veterans. And we understand the work that's been going on behind the scene to host 12 other teams or 11 other teams this year, and of course this week, and the work that is going on behind the scenes to host 40 other teams later this year. You cannot imagine just how much is being put in. But for now, let's look forward for next week. Tomorrow, we will be back on radio at 6 p.m. for the countdown, the first one, of course, which will lead us to Friday when the competition proper will begin. Then tomorrow, we will have the opportunity of revealing who our reporters who have been put in place to cover this huge tournament will be. You get to know them tomorrow as well. And until we meet tomorrow, it is bye-bye from this end. Marcel was the producer of this show. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Do have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and may God bless you. Bye for now.
You're listening to Midwest Ball Rolling, coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's that time again. The veterans take the pitch with pride, passion, and purpose. Join us as we profile the fierce teams, epic matchups, and inspiring stories at the 2025 edition of the Midwest Veterans Tournament. From the warm-ups to the final whistle, we're bringing the heat. Let the ball continue to roll.